Hello guys, today we're doing a video on MW2's beta using the Steam Deck. We're playing the game at 800p on the lowest settings. And also, we're playing on Windows 11, so not on SteamOS. If you play on the SteamOS, you will get banned, so avoid playing on that. Sideload Windows, I'm playing it off an external SSD, and it runs fine. Just make sure you install the drivers, and I'm playing the game through Steam as well. I got the Steam copy of the game, which is far more convenient since if you get the game on Battle.net, the Steam controllers aren't going to work properly. You got to do a whole little thing on the side to make them work. But with the Steam copy, it works out of the box. You just open up the game, go through the community tab. There's already a config for the Steam Deck. You just apply that, you import it, and then it works perfectly, as you can see. And looking at the game's performance, we're getting over 60 FPS, surprisingly. I thought we were going to be sitting in the 40s and 50s, to be honest. But it's running fantastically. We're getting 60 to 70 FPS quite easily. The game's not even stuttering. We are playing on the lowest settings, but it is at native 800p, no FSR or anything like that. But either way, playing on lowest settings I think looks great on PC, on desktop, and even better on the Steam Deck since it's a small screen, so you can't really see those details going away on the lowest settings. Now we do get some FPS drops while spawning in, drop that into the 50s, low 50s. But that's not really that big of a deal. You're only loading in. Doesn't really affect your gameplay. Now, playing ground war and all that isn't going to be playable. Far more intensive. And I would imagine it will be the same thing on Warzone as well, once that releases. But on the small maps in the beta, it's running quite fine. We're getting 60 FPS plus. We do get some stuttering. I actually lied about it not stuttering at all. We've gotten a couple of stutters here and there. But it's not too impactful. It's not ruining the game's experience. 90% of the time, it's running fine. Now, forgive me for the actual gameplay. I'm not a controller player. I play with keyboard and mouse, so it's kind of difficult to just play with controller. But hopefully we can do decent. Alright, let's go try out FSR real quick. We're using FSR 1.0, and I'm going to be using the balance preset since that is the perfect ground for visual quality and performance. And off the bat, we definitely do see worse quality compared to running at native 800p. Which is a shame, but let's see if we can get an FPS boost out of it. We're getting like 65 FPS on average beforehand at 800p native, and we're getting 70 to 80 FPS, so actually a decent FPS boost using FSR. But let's see if that's consistent, or if we're going to fall down into the 60s anyway. The game feels fantastic, it feels super smooth. Again, I don't play with controller, but the aiming feels quite good and quite responsive. Alright, it seems like we are able to hold 70 FPS at least, so actually quite good. You can try it out and see if you like how the game looks with FSR. It's definitely a different look compared to what you see on SteamOS with the system-wide FSR, but still looks good, I think. Now we're trying out medium settings as well, and ultra, but I'm not sure how well we'll do at ultra. Probably going to be quite tough for it to run, probably sitting at 50 FPS at that point. And I also want to try out the recommended settings that the game gives us, because that's when I was testing out the minimum spec requirements, the game did a good job at assigning settings and the game ran quite well, so I will try that out as well. But yeah, let's go jump up to medium settings and see how we do there.
Requesting recon overhead.
We've secured 2 objectives. We're losing Charlie. Advised UAV is exiting the AO. Enemy securing Charlie.
Playing the game at medium white balance settings, you can see a massive decrease in our performance. We are dropping down to the 40s now, but still up to 60 to 70 FPS. That's our peak. But our drops are definitely more aggressive and it's happening far more often. Falling to the 40s kind of ruins the experience since it's happening so often. And if it was a consistent frame rate, it would be a different story, but it's not. So let's go ahead and actually enable FSR so we can get some GPU headroom. Let's see how we do there. This area we're getting 60 FPS anyway, so let's go ahead and head somewhere else and see if we can hold. The game is stuttering a lot more often, to be honest, on medium settings, regardless of if you use FSR or not. But FPS is back up to the 60s and 70s, the high 70s. But just the stuttering is far more aggressive. Now it could be because I'm changing the settings on the fly. Maybe the game's bugging out. And maybe a fresh restart would fix this, but as it goes right now, it is stuttering far more often. And the game's quality isn't too improved either when compared to 800p native low settings. Using FSR kind of takes away from the quality, so I think it's better just to play on low settings, and you can even use FSR then as well if you want. But personally I would play at low settings 800p, maybe at ultra quality or quality FSR to not lose too much quality while getting good performance as well. Now I think you will get FPS drops regardless of if you play at low settings with FSR or not, or play at medium settings. There will be more intensive maps, you know, as DLC, or maybe as time goes the game will become more intensive. So I wouldn't be super confident in getting a consistent 60 at all times. Maybe 40 to 60 FPS average is more fair, and if you're cool with that, then it's definitely playable. It's definitely a good experience as well from what I've played. Alright, let's go try out ultra settings and see how we run there. Okay, so playing at ultra settings gave us a game error which caused the game to crash. This could be just a beta thing, but the error said that the drivers were outdated, so the game's going to be unstable. That's what it said. So I restarted the game and I'm now using the recommended settings that the game provided, using the performance mode. It's about the same as what I picked for it beforehand at the lowest settings, but it's playing at 720p now, and it's using FSR quality mode. And yeah, it's running about the same. This map is definitely more intensive. I did watch the Digital Foundry video on MW2 with PS4 on PS5, and this map definitely ran worse compared to the other ones, on PS4 anyway, on the base PS4, and especially when peaking this middle bit of the map at the marketplace, PS4 fell into the 40s, the mid 40s, while the other areas you could hold 60 fine. And PS4 is playing at 900p I believe as well, so we are performing about the same as the base PS4, but obviously we're playing at a low resolution, so it's not a perfect comparison. But even with the FPS drops, I think it's still a good experience. The 40s is still fine. It's not ideal, obviously, to fall into the 40s, but as long as it's not freezing or stuttering, I think it's fine for me. We did have that weird glitch at the start when I was throwing that grenade. The game froze up, and then the controller just stroked out and spun to the right. But other than that, haven't had anything weird happen to it yet. And the only time it crashed on me was when playing at ultra settings anyway, so the actual stability has been fine as well. So yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and useful. Please give it a like. Subscribe to my average as well. See you next time.